11 o'clock. Thank you. Yeah, we've got a couple people in. We had some other people who registered, and hopefully they will be joining us here momentarily. But I'm going to go ahead and get started just because, again, we're respectful of time. My name is Andrew Whitus, and hopefully everybody can see my screen, which I think Heather already said you can. This is going to be the first information session of 2023 on the consulting services that we have here at OhioNet. And the first one that we're going to share with you and talk about is program evaluation. So probably you already, maybe know us or know some of us, but again, just introducing the consulting team here at OhioNet. So Michelle Bradley is on with us today. She's the director of consulting here. Nancy Kirkpatrick is our CEO and executive director. I'm Andrew Whitus. I'm the director of financial operations and also a strategist. And then Heather Ladisky is also on, and Heather is our project manager when we're working with clients. So that is our team.
I downloaded the app, but you need to if you did.
Okay. So again, you may have, if you've joined us in the past for things, you may have seen this, but if not, just kind of going over our philosophy for consulting. Since this is relatively new, we're kind of also trying to approach this a different way from perhaps other traditional consultants that you've worked with. So since we are a member organization and you are our members, we're actively going to partner with you because we're invested in your success. Again, you're members, we appreciate you being members. We want to make sure that when we're working with you in a project that you succeed. We also approach things using inclusive practices versus a traditional top-down approach. So again, a lot of what we've been doing over the past year, if you've joined us, is we talk about appreciative inquiry. We're all certified in that, and we use that lens with the work we do. We're also in various stages of certification for human-centered design through the LUMA organization. So again, this inclusive practice that we bring to the work we do. Along with this, we focus on possibilities rather than problems. Oftentimes when you're engaging consultants, there's people want to focus or directly jump in on the problem. But, again, we try to bring that appreciative lens and look at the possibilities and the abundance versus what's there, the deficits, the deficiencies. And then again, because most of our clients are members, we're there to provide post project support, again, to make sure that everything goes successfully. You may have also seen this or heard of this before, but just again, reminding you that not only, are we consultants, but we know libraries because we're librarians, which you might expect, but not always the case when working with consultants who serve libraries. And we're not just librarians, but we're also, three of us have been directors and also have worked previously in other roles in libraries. So Michelle, Nancy, and I have all been library directors either at public or academic libraries. So we have both experience of working directly in public or technical service, as well as working with administration, which again informs the type of work we do with our clients. And finally, we know more than just libraries, which again, most consultants say this, but I've already kind of, shared that we bring the appreciative inquiry knowledge plus human-centered design, and along with that, our academic other credentials. So again, law, public administration, marketing, business administration. We bring those other skills with us when we're working on projects with clients too. But today, you're here to learn more about program evaluation. So again, just general overview, you probably again know this, but program evaluation is basically it's a process that we do when we're trying to determine the merit, worth, value, or significance of something. Hopefully you're already doing some kind of program evaluation or you have in the past, or you're at least interested in it because you're attending this information session. But a little bit more about why you might want to do it, which usually you're doing program evaluation because you're trying to answer some kind of a question. So how well is our programming achieving its goals? which is again something you want to consider. And I will say, when I use the word program, it can be applied broadly. It could be the entire library organization. It could be a department. Or it could be literally just a program that you're doing either internally to the library or perhaps with other community partners. So we can work with you to evaluate any level of the organization that you so choose. Um, Along with another question when you're doing program evaluation might be, how can we improve the program? So again, instead of what's not working, let's look at perhaps, what can we do to improve it or make it better? Um, Oftentimes people consider, program evaluation as maybe more of these two things in the middle. Do we continue doing a program, and is it really worth the cost to us? Are the results really there and worth that cost? And then finally, often, program evaluation is done because perhaps the parent institution is asking for the library or your entity to basically show how you're aligning with its goals and priorities. Again, this probably is more directed at academic libraries or libraries that are affiliated with museums or other organizations than a freestanding public library. Um, or it could be, again, that you're being asked to show how your program is aligning with standards. So again, it just varies by the type of library you are. But those are, again, why you might want to do evaluation. When we look at evaluation, though, there's a whole again, spectrum of evaluation that can occur. So it can, and again, we can work with you to deliver any types of these types of evaluation. So it could be just a basic needs assessment. You could say, we are trying to, we want to start this new project and we want to see if there is a need there, and we can work with you on that. That also sometimes is called formative evaluation. Also, process or implementation usually is after you started a program, but not so far that it's gotten maybe to year one. You might want to be looking at a process or implementation evaluation to really see, have we really implemented this the right way? Is it really working the way we intended? And this would be an opportunity to do kind of a course correction. And again, we can help with that. Probably most people are used to this one in the middle again, outcome or effectiveness evaluations, program evaluations. So again, this is where you're looking at, again, is this really what we're doing? Are we really serving our patrons? Are we really achieving the goals that we assumed or we hoped to be achieving with the work we're doing? And that's usually what most people think of when they think of program evaluation. Um, it also could be, again, this could be combined with something, or it could be standalone economic cost benefit evaluation. And then finally, there is an impact evaluation, which is separate from outcome or effectiveness. Impact is looking at, again, usually long-term impact of a program on a community or population. So usually you're collecting a lot of data and you're looking over time. It's not just outcome and effectiveness, it's looking at how has this truly impacted people, and usually requires, longitudinal data and actually the analysis of that. We can help with that. So again, process, kind of talked about this when I was saying, but we're approaching all of this through, again, inclusive practices. So appreciative inquiry, human-centered design. We acknowledge that, we're working with people, and we always want to make sure that we come from those lenses when we do this. So if we are working with a client, we are going to try to, again, focus our work with those lenses on, and I will get there in a minute where I'm going with this. But basically, we'll be reviewing whatever, again, depending on the type of evaluation, the documents that you already have available, the data that's already been collected. If you don't have data, we can then, again, through an appreciative lens, ask questions. We can do interviews with, again, patrons or whoever is receiving the benefit of whatever the program might be, or conducting surveys. Again, when you can design appreciative surveys that can really dive deeper into again, the benefits of what the program is to the individual who's using it. Both the interviews and the surveys can collect both qualitative and quantitative data for the evaluation. And along with that, it could be an evaluation that just might be looking at data that's existing and benchmarking against peers. So really what again, trying to say is that depending on the project, we could combine any or all of these into whatever type of evaluation program would actually work for your project. Along with that, then usually you have to actually have some kind of criteria or standards that you're kind of comparing to. So this could be some kind of local or pre-existing criteria standards. And again, I'll use an example. So when I was at the University of Findlay, we had a very robust global assessment program. Most institutions of higher education have developed that over the last 10 years. And at Findlay, there was a set of, again, criteria standards that they were looking for all units on campus, not just those involved in direct instruction with students, but those supporting student learning and student success. And we had to basically evaluate all of what we did in the library at Findlay to show that we were aligning to our parent institutions' goals and objectives. Along with that, I was able to bring in, there's of course, ACRL has the standards for libraries and higher education. So I was able to incorporate some of that standard information into what was also being asked locally by the university's assessment committee. But depending on the type of project that you're doing, we may find that we really need to look outside of librarianship and perhaps look at NGOs or IGOs who have done extensive development of criteria. So something like the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development has developed a criteria evaluation criteria framework that might be useful if you're a public library working with another community partner delivering some type of human service. So I know there are a number of these projects happening around the state, and this could be, again, a different way to collect data and look at data and report back to community partners and stakeholders. Finally, custom development. So if you, again, depending on the need, we may determine that actually we're going to develop our own criteria or pick and choose again from kind of the association and NGO, IGO out there. So there's a lot of opportunities for the types of criteria standards we would look at for doing evaluation. And then finally, the benefits of doing this. So we asked kind of started out with the why would you might want to do it, but the benefits. So of course, know it works. So by doing an evaluation, you kind of know that what you're doing is working, and that allows you again to make better informed decisions. So again, usually evaluations, that data is used to show success. So again, you're talking back to your stakeholders. It could be to your board of trustees. It could be to university administration or your school district administration or whomever are your key stakeholders, demonstrating that your program is actually being successful. Evaluation can also be used then to potentially gain increased funding. So again, if you can show that we're doing a really good job, maybe give us more money, we could do more. Or we've identified some challenges, and if you gave us more money, we can make improvements and we can actually improve and do better. So that would be another benefit of doing evaluation. And then finally, going through an evaluation program process, you know, should enhance the capacity for your organization to be, again, be a little bit critical and start doing self-assessment and actually hopefully incorporating that into an annual process. Evaluation, like I kind of started at the beginning, a lot of people are, I think, not scared of it, but it's intimidating at times. It can be overwhelming. And I think because a lot of people approach it, we have to evaluate everything all at once, and you don't have to. You can evaluate aspects of your organization or aspects of your program, and over time evaluate other areas and build upon that. And this gives you, again, this a self-assessment and ability to improve, grow, and move forward. So again, just kind of a high level overview of the types of program evaluation options that are out there. Obviously, if you were interested in this, we would work with you and again, develop some kind of customized plan that would actually serve your evaluation need. You might have seen the slide before, but again, just reminding you, Unlimited Possibilities Consulting, these services that we're talking about, they're fee-based. There's a cost involved and it's scalable. So I've kind of alluded to that. It doesn't have to be, we're evaluating the entire library organization all at once. We could actually start small and we could scale up. It can be done virtually or in person. We're happy to meet with people and work with people in person. We've been doing that now since last fall on strategic planning. But we know some organizations are still working virtually, and we're more than happy to continue to work with organizations who want to work in that way. We're proficient and we can do both at the same time and actually mix. We can meet in person and virtual as needed. And of course, our services are available now. So if you're interested, this is not something you have to wait for. You can actually reach out to us now and we can start talking about the possibilities of working with you. A little plug for some of these upcoming information sessions. Again, these are just high-level overviews of the types of services we're now offering. Just getting the word out to the Ohio community. We started with, our Explore Ohio Libraries last year. That's where some of these ideas are coming from that we're putting into practice now. So today is the first one. We're doing these every other month. Michelle will be back in April to talk about conversations worth having. In June, I'll be talking about trend exploration. In August, Michelle will talk about igniting workplace connections. I alluded to appreciative survey design. Again, if you just want an aspect of program evaluation, we could actually work with you on just survey design and you could do things yourself if you wanted to do that. So I'll be talking about that in October. And then finally, at the end of the year, Michelle will talk about workplace well-being. Again, though, all of these opportunities for services are available now. So you don't have to wait until we talk about it to reach out to get more information. So if you're interested in and you want to learn more about, program evaluation or anything that we've, kind of highlighted today, you can go to the OhioNet website. And if you go underneath services at the top menu, you can go to the consulting services page, and right there at the top is the request information. And Michelle just popped the link directly into the chat. Thank you for that. And if you go to that page and scroll down, you can see a list of all the other services. So we only touched on some of the services in the info sessions that we're focusing on for this year. But as you know, we're doing strategic planning, but there are other services out there too that we are able to do. So if you don't see anything listed, please do reach out to us, and we can also perhaps, provide that for you. So if you have questions about anything I talked about now, I'm happy to address that. Or if you, again, have questions in general about the consulting services, the best place to start is Michelle using that form. But if you wanted to, you could also send an email to her, michelleb@ohionet.org. So feel free to, if you got questions, put something in chat or on mute, ask a question. We've got about 10 minutes. And if there are no questions, we're done early. And I'll say if Michelle wants to throw anything else out in there too, feel free to jump in.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you for that overview too. As Andrew said, you can just reach out to me directly at my email address. That's a fine way, or the form. Either way, it will get to me, and I'll get back to you about anything, questions you would like to know. If you're looking for pricing info, we'll have a conversation about the scope of what you want to do, and we'll put together a customized quote for you.
Okay, again, I will count to 10 mentally. So if you have a question, like I said, feel free to unmute. Happy to answer now, or if not, we'll end this here shortly.
And thank you, Andrew, Ty, and Jennifer, for joining us.
Okay.
Everyone,
Again, yes.
thanks, everyone.